Hello everyone. Our today's topic is solid waste. What do you mean by solid waste? So anything which you throw into the trash is solid waste. So we know that from our home, from our offices, hospitals and from many places, whatever the waste, we throw it into the trash. So that is what the solid waste. So it might be paper, plastic, glass, metals, textiles and the leftover food, whatever which is solid and you are throwing it into the trash, and that is called as solid waste. So from where do we get this solid waste? We get this solid waste from homes, offices, hospitals, schools, colleges, stores, etc. And after, you know that from our school, okay, let us take an example of the school or home, whatever. So we'll take an example of that. And once you throw it into the dustbin, where does these things will go? Actually, these solid waste are collected and disposed of by municipality. So that's why the municipality solid waste contains all these things which you throw at your home, office, hospitals, these things from these places. Okay, they are collecting from the municipality, they are collecting the waste and they are disposing of. Where they are disposing it and how they are disposing it. Let us see where they are disposing and how they are disposing. So firstly, they were disposing like this: open dumps and burning waste. Open dumps means waste are just thrown into the open area. Waste are just thrown into open area and they are burned. So burning, when they are burning these waste, what is happening is all the waste could not be burned. Little will be left, isn't it? So when they are burning it, the waste is not completely burned. It will reduce the volume. When we burn the waste, what will happen? It reduces the volume. But the limitation here you can see in this type of disposing is the waste are not completely burned. And another one more thing here, the limitation is this thing that next to your home, next to your village, there is an open dump space. So what will happen there when they are dumping and going, the waste will be collected, a lot of waste will be there in that open area. So after some times what you can see some mosquitoes, flies and rats and dogs. So many organisms will be there. So what will happen? These waste where they are dumping, that area will become breeding ground for rats and flies. So these two are the limitations of this method of disposing open dumps and burning waste. So what they did, they found another method, that is sanitary landfills. This method is substitute for this open dumps. So here what they are doing is waste are dumped into trench. So this is the land. So inside this here they have made a trench. To this they are dumping the waste and these are covered with the dirt. In this method they were feeling, okay, this is well and good, this method is good, like that they were feeling. But what happened here is, the limitation is, they were getting filled too quickly. You know very well that they are now, due to the population explosion, urbanization is happening, and people, as there are more population, so more waste will be collected from more buildings and more trench will be filled. So that is why these landfills were getting filled too quickly. And another one limitation of this method is whatever the waste they are putting over here in this trench, the chemicals which were there in this waste, they are seeping it into the underground water. So you can see here there is a flowing of underground water beneath the earth surface. So this underground water will be getting polluted due to the dangerous seepage of chemicals from this trench. So these two are the limitations of this sanitary landfills. Now then what we can do, then how we can dispose these waste and all. So the only way we human beings should become more sensitive to this environmental pollution which we are doing through the solid waste, and we should reduce the use of this, we should reduce this solid waste. We have understood what is solid waste and from where it is getting generated and how they are getting disposed of. Now we have to see how these waste can be managed. So now let us understand management of solid waste. So this solid waste should be segregated. So we should segregate the waste. This is one of the important things we should do. Why we should segregate it? Once we segregate this solid waste, that means once we separate them into the different types, we can use a specific method to dispose of. Now let us see what are the categories that we have for to this management of solid waste. So why we should segregate this waste? So that we can see the specific method how we can dispose it off, and also we can by separating the reusable or recyclable material. So these are the three categories of these solid waste. The first one is biodegradable. So when we get the waste, solid waste, first we should separate them, we should remove all the biodegradable waste into one side. What are those biodegradable waste which we are getting? The leaves, we can say, and the vegetable peels, fruit peels, all these are biodegradable waste. These waste, how we can dispose these waste? By making the deep pits. We should make the deep pits and we should throw that waste into the deep pits, and we should close it and we should left for the natural breakdown of these waste. And now we have separated all the biodegradable waste from which we have got. Now the remaining is recyclable and non-biodegradable. Now who are doing this work? Separating this recyclable material. Kabadiwalas and rag pickers, they are the one who are doing a very great job in separating these reusable or recyclable solid waste. So these separated solid waste, these materials are taken for the recycling. Now from the solid waste we have managed to separate this biodegradable waste and recyclable waste. So somehow we have found the way for them. The next thing which is very important, and this is the one which is causing the problem in disposing of the solid waste, is non-biodegradable things like metals and plastics. So metals and plastics, what they are doing, they are compacting it, and after the compaction they are dumped into the landfills. We should reduce this use of non-biodegradable materials. If you go to the grocery stores, you pick any one of the good quality packets, eatable packets if you take, for example, and open it. It might be the chocolates or it might be the biscuits. Take it and open it, and you will see the number of packing layers. And do you think that those plastics and all will be getting degraded easily? All those things are non-biodegradable, right? We have reached in such a way that whatever the daily products which we are using, like milk, water, all those things are packing in poly bags. And also we are packing those vegetables and fruits in plastic bags. So what we can do to reduce this solid waste? We have to reduce this solid waste. Otherwise, it will be, our earth will move. We are throwing all those solid waste into the earth, which is non-biodegradable, and we are polluting it. And our state governments and all, they are doing lot of work on this and to reduce this use of those plastics and all. We can put a little bit by using this carry bags which is made up of cloth and all. So nowadays we are using the recyclable masks also. This is really one of the good thing that we are doing, where we are using the cloth mask where we can wash it and reuse it. So such reusable things we should use so that we can reduce the non-biodegradable waste. Now let us understand how we can manage the waste which is generated from the hospitals, and also we will understand what do you mean by electronic waste. The waste which is generated from the hospitals is a hazardous waste, and what is there in this waste which is coming from the hospitals. You know, in the hospitals they will be using disinfectants and they will be using chemicals, and also the pathogenic microorganisms will be generated as a waste from the hospitals. And what they will do with this waste? Can we just throw it into the open dumps or to the landfills like this waste? Of course not, right? Because if we throw these pathogenic organisms directly into the environment or directly there into the open dump areas, what will happen? Of course, it will transmit to the other organisms, isn't it? So what we can do now? How can we manage this hospital waste? We should burn that hospital waste at very high temperature. So for that we use these incinerators. Incinerators are highly crucial to manage the waste which is generated from the hospitals. Now let us understand electronic waste or e-waste. What do you mean by electronic waste or e-waste? Irreparable computers and other electronic goods or electronic waste. For example, if you can see now, if one charger is not working, what you will do? You will throw it. And before getting the smart TVs, what kind of the TVs at home we were having, what we did with that? Those TVs are already almost in each and every home. It is already replaced. Most of us we have smart TVs at our home, isn't it? So where we threw all those TVs, and also the computer which cannot be repaired. Like this, the waste which are irreparable computers and other electronic goods, we call them as electronic waste or e-waste. So what we will do this e-waste. One thing is we can bury them in a landfills, and the other thing is we can incinerate. So this is also will be creating the pollution in the environment. Other than this, what way we can do, which is the eco-friendly solution for this electronic waste? The eco-friendly solution for this electronic waste is recycling. Recycling is the only eco-friendly way to manage this electronic e-waste. What these developed countries are doing with these electronic waste, what they are doing is they have the standard methods to manage those e-waste, and also they will be sending those e-waste into the developing countries such as China, India and Pakistan. And now once the developing countries are getting those waste from these developed countries, what is happening here? In developing countries, what they are doing is they are first of all manually they are participating. Human being workers are participating in managing those waste. So they are these workers are exposed to those toxic substances which are present in this e-waste. While separating those substances, they will be exposed to them, and they will, why they are separating those things and what they are doing with this is, actually they are recovering some metals from them, some elements from these e-waste which they are getting from the developed countries. What they are recovering? They are recovering like copper, iron, silicon, nickel and gold. Such elements they are recovering from these electronic wastes. In this way, we can manage this waste we are getting from the hospitals, and also we can manage this electronic waste by recycling it. This is the only eco-friendly solution where we can manage this e-waste. We are completely aware of that, the ever increasing demand of the plastic, and also we are very well known that ourselves, we know that how these plastic waste is getting accumulated, right? So now let us see what is the remedy for this plastic waste, which our from the Bangalore, one of the person who founded. A plastic sack manufacturer, Mr. Ahmad Khan, was a 57-year-old man in the year 2001. In the year 2001, he was a person who found an ideal solution for this plastic waste, which is getting generated in our homes, schools, offices, everywhere, and they are getting accumulated here. So, Mr. Ahmad Khan is the owner of the company KK Polyflex. He thought an ideal solution for this, right? What he did is, he developed a poly blend. He developed a poly blend with the help of his nephew, Mr. Amjad Khan, who is a chemical engineer. What is this poly blend? This poly blend is nothing but it is a fine powder. It is a fine powder of recycled plastic. The plastic, the things which we have already used, from that these fine powder are made, and also to this some of the additives were added. That is what we call it as a poly blend. Okay, and then Mr. Amjad Khan took the help from the students of RV College of Engineering to experiment the different mixtures of poly blend and bitumen. What they did with this poly blend and bitumen? The poly blend is mixed with the bitumen and it is used to lay roads. Isn't it a good solution? Using plastic for laying roads. Yes, it's a very good solution where these the road in which with the help of this RV College of Engineering students and also with the help of Bangalore City Corporation, what they did is they laid roads. They came to know that and they understood that with their experiment and all. This, when they laid roads, the poly blend enhanced the water repelling property of the bitumen. So, and also one more advantage was it increased the road life by the factor of 3. So, by this such an ideal solution, using the waste to lay the roads where there is no need to worry about that we are throwing the things in the open space and making it dirt and all, and such things are not there. So the non-biodegradable thing which is used for laying the roads. And what are the raw materials they are taking to prepare this poly blend? The raw materials for this poly blend is any plastic film waste. Anything, any plastic film waste. It might be the plastic bags, bottles, buckets, glasses, etc. So what they will do is they will dry them and they will put them into the shredding machine and then they will get it in the powder form. And to that powder they will add some additives and they will make this poly blend. And that poly blend will be mixed with bitumen and it is used to lay the roads. By the year 2002, Mr. Amjad Khan, with the help of this Bangalore City Corporation and also RV College of Engineering students, they laid around 40 kilometer road in Bangalore. So, we need to get this raw material. From where do we get this raw material? That is waste. We will get it. Who will go and get it? The rag pickers will get it, isn't it? Earlier, the rag pickers used to get rupees 40 paise per kg of that plastic. So, for the increase, as there was increase in the demand of this poly blend, by the year 2002 itself, this Mr. Amjad Khan was giving 6 rupees per kg of this plastic as an incentive. So, almost from the other states also, they started inquiring about how they are making this and all. But at that time, Mr. Amjad Khan wanted to see that how it is exactly giving the life. So he wanted to lay roads around 800 kilometers. So in this way, and then he wanted to give this to other state inquiries. In this way, Mr. Amjad Khan found an ideal solution for this plastic waste. And this is one of the things, it is okay. And also, we should remember that the important thing is we should reduce the use of non-biodegradable waste using the plastic bags and all. So, by carrying the cloth bag, we can reduce most of the solid plastic waste. So this is about the case study which we need to study from your textbook. I hope you have understood about the solid waste, where we have understood what do you mean by solid waste and how they are being, who are going to collect it, how they are going to dispose it, and also we have understood how we should segregate into three categories like biodegradable, recyclable and non-biodegradable. And also we have understood how to manage the waste from the hospitals and how to manage this electronic waste. And now we have understood how to find a solution to this non-biodegradable waste by understanding this case study of the case study. So this is all about the solid waste.